Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Guess what? It's mosaic time. I got this pot here that I'm going to do my mosaic on. I've got all my pieces spread out on the side here. It's my, the tiles I made. I think it's video 112. Oh, I'm just not sure. I made a video, but it's titled. Anyways, I made a video of me making the tiles for this project. And also making the little ladybugs for the project. Okay, so let's get into this because it's going to take a long time. This may end up being a long video. So, okay, first thing is the thin set. Okay, and I'll put a picture of what I use. You can buy thin set in regular cement color or white. I bought the white. Yeah, so that way, because you can use your thin set as grout, but you cannot use grout that you buy at the store as your thin set. So I didn't know that at the time, so I bought a huge bag of thin set and I bought a little bag of grout, which we'll get into later. But anyways, this is the thin set and it's just this powder form. Okay, let me move this out of the way a little bit, and this is what I'll be adding into it. Can you see that? Concrete bonding additive. And it's like glue for cement. It's cement glue. Let me give it a little shake. And I don't measure because I didn't measure. I just put what I think I needed, and I know this is more than I need, but I'll probably do one side and then one of the other sides, or maybe both, depending on how much of this I have. So you just want to be sparingly at first with it. I'm just going to add about that much, and then I'll add water to the rest if I need more. It doesn't take much liquid at all. It be just a tiny bit stiff, but it's better than having it too thin because you can always just thin it a tiny bit. Okay, now what we do is we have to let it sit, and they call it slake, for 5 minutes. So we're going to let it sit for 5 minutes, put the timer on, and then I'll be back and we will get started. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, we're back. It's been about 6 minutes, 7 minutes, somewhere in there. And it has sat for a minute. And it's still nice and thick. I'll just give it another stir real quick. And then we'll get started. Now, you can use whatever you want to apply it. You can use, sometimes I use this when I have to get in somewhere. Sometimes I use a smaller palette knife or my finger. I have gloves on because this stuff has a lot of chemicals in it. So, I mean, I've used it with my bare hands. You just have to keep your hands wiped. Now, I have sprayed this because this is cement. I made this pot and I soaked it for 4 days in some water, a bucket of water. So it's super dry. It's, cured. I made it a couple years ago. Anyways, so I just gave it a mist with some water, and that helps. That helps, not with the bonding, but it helps the cement not draw the moisture out of your thin set too soon. It needs time to cure, and if you leave this dry, the cement will draw all the moisture out of your thin set and make it not right, make it not dry good. Okay, so I'm just going to smear some of this on. Now right there's a low spot, and you can compensate with your thin set for low spots, high spots. I'm just going to get a good amount on here. How much you use, I don't know if there's a Standard, I like to use, you know, a good amount. Because this corner has to be built up a little bit. Okay, so I have my pieces all laid out over here, so they kind of go together, I think. Let's do this one in the corner here. And just press down lightly on it. I may need to add a little more in the corner up there. Or you can put it on your piece itself. Anyway, you know, it's basically personal preference. I guess you can figure it out as you go. That's what I did, basically. I'm going to get them pretty close to each other. You don't want too much. You don't want to fill it in. So, save room for your grout. Okay. Hey guys, I'll be speeding this up. Like a lot of times this video went way longer than I expected. So if you have any questions about anything I'm doing, just let me know in the comments and I'll answer them. And we'll get through this. It's super easy though. You can do it. You totally can do it. All right, let's do let's do a little bug now right here in the middle. How about that? Let's put it right in there. And it's pretty level, so we don't have to build it up. But I do have these little glow-in-the-dark stones. They're just plastic. They're not real stones, but I do add these in. And they glow in the dark really well, so I really like the way. But they're super thin, so you have to build up the back and then just set it. Like, here, let me give you an example. You got to just put some on there and then set it lightly. And then it'll set up like that. And then you grout around it and it'll show up. Oh, I love these. Let's do a couple more. Okay, again, have to speed it. Speed. Anyway, sorry about this camera angle. I didn't realize when I was filming, because I'm in a different spot, that my camera didn't flip when I put it on the clip. So we have this angle. But it won't last but just a couple more minutes, and then we'll get the full angle again, because I'm such a rookie. Sorry, guys. Anyways, enjoy. So this side is already starting to set up, so you know you can move them around for a certain amount of time, and then you're done moving them around. Now I'm going to try and get that off of there, but I'm going to go ahead and continue on to the side since I have so much grout left, and you guys get the idea. So I'll be back when the rest is done and it's time to go to the next step. So see you in a bit. Okay, we have the sides done. They came out really cute. Let me just show you around. I did end up putting a little butterfly there and some more of the little stones around. I'm sorry, I'm holding the camera to film it. This little guy, can you see him? He's super sparkly. You can't really see him that great here, but I got a little bit on there, but that can scrape right off. Okay. And now I have to do something with these top edges. So I have these little sparkly tiles, and they come in a big sheet, and I just cut some off to fit. And then for the corners, I cut these pieces. I have a glass cutter, and I cut these pieces and they will fit in the corners. Oops, over here, like that. Yeah, it'll be better lined up. But I'll cut this ends. Oh, there you are. These ends off, because otherwise they'll stick out. So let me get you up on the clip and we will get this started. Okay, I've got my grout all mixed up and it's sat for its 5 to 10 minutes. Remember, consistency of creamy peanut butter. And let's see, that's the side. If I don't keep these together, I'll do it wrong. This one goes on that side. Okay. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get this started. This is this side. I don't want to drop any. Sometimes I drop it in the middle, so I better get everything out while I can. And this one I had to cut and use as a spacer because this one wasn't quite long enough, or it didn't match anyway, so I didn't think about that. But anyway, so it's not a big deal. So let's just get this going. I'm just going to spread this on here, just like we do for the mosaic itself. And I'm so uncoordinated, don't mind me. If it's messy, you can clean it up later. It's not the end of the world. And that, I should have took that down some with the sandpaper, because that's probably going to mess me up. So hold on a second and let me get rid of that big knot right there. Okay, I think that's all there is to that. And we'll just, I mean, you can use sandpaper, you can use whatever. I just figured that would be the quickest way with the, build that corner up a little bit. All right. Okay, I'm going to pull this one down. And then you're just going to press firmly on it. Get it straight. I may have to cut another piece for that. I don't know. Again, I apologize for the camera view. Apparently, I filmed the whole thing like this. Oh, my goodness. I'll do better next time. Anyway, I figure I'll let you watch me do the first little row just to show you how easy it is. But then I have to speed the rest up like 10 times in order to get the time on this video down a little bit. But we are working on it. So hang in there. Thanks, everybody. And now we'll let that set up. Next, we do grout. Let me get you down. See if I can get you down without turning you off. Okay, I did it. Look at that. Okay, there we go. It's not perfectly matched up, but I made the pot, so it's not square. You know what I mean? I mean, it's square enough, but anyways, okay. We will get to the grout. Okay, we've got the grout mixed up, and I've let it sit for its 5 to 10 minutes, depending on, I don't know. It just says 5 to 10 minutes, so I gave it about halfway, about 8 minutes, something like that. And we're going to get this started. I can scrape that off of there. But I like to use my hands, so that way I can get it all in. You can use a stick, a spatula. They have all kinds of tools for, you know, doing this. So, is that flash on? I think my flash is on. Hold on. Let me get that off. Okay, there we go. Now, let's just get in here and get some. And we're just going to smear it on. We're just trying to fill all the little holes, all the little gaps. You just don't want to rub too hard on the tiles because you don't want to rub the paint off of them. And I'll build these corners up as I go, so they'll be level. Again, like the consistency of creamy peanut butter. Just remember where all your little things are, and that way you don't bury them up. You should have a pretty good amount of work time with this. I've never had it set up on me before I was finished, so that's always a good thing. Just don't push too tight because, or too hard, because you'll pop a hole in your gloves. Don't really want that. Now this time I didn't use the cement binder that I used for the thin set, and the only reason I didn't mix it with that this time is because I couldn't get that damn thing open. So, but you do not have to use it. You can totally just use water like I am right now. It's just water and grout. I don't know if there's any rules about how thick you should leave it on here. I just kind of do my own thing. I did one more before this, and it's been sitting outside for probably a couple years now, and it's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it. Out in the weather and the rain, and yeah. But it's not going anywhere. Okay. Now, I have a bucket of water sitting down here because I am doing this in my kitchen. You're going to want some sort of bucket. And I'm just going to just lightly go over this. And you can use, they have sponges for this, or, you know, you can use a paper towel. I'm just using a damp rag just to make sure I don't bury anything up here. Okay, that's good enough for right now, and then we will turn it and continue on. Again, we're going to speed this up, and you can see me just mashing that grout into the corners and building up, into the nooks and crannies, building up the corners. And you'll see me rub my finger along the bottom, and it looks like I'm just rubbing it, but I did dip my finger in a little bit of water because the edges were rough. And if you dip your finger in a little bit of water, not a lot, and rub it, it'll smooth it out just like as if it were clay or something. So I do have a bucket of water sitting down beside me. This is normally an outside project, but I live in Florida and it is so hot. Like, I wouldn't have any work time, let alone the mosquitoes and bugs would just tear me up. So I'd have to be covered in oily, yucky, stinky bug spray. And I have to do that enough when I work outside. So I just went ahead and set this up. It's you can totally do it inside, like you see me doing here. And I apologize again for the camera angle. I'm just mortified about that. But anyways, carry on. Okay, let's get this part cleaned up, and then now I do have my bucket down there, like I said, because I am inside. If I tried to do this outside, it's just too hot right now. But if you have to do it inside, make sure you have a bucket. Do not rinse any of your tools, any of your hands, anything in your sink and let it go down the drain. You will be sorry. This is cement, and it will harden up in your pipes. So never, ever, ever do that. No matter how convenient. Okay, now we let this cure for a day or so, and then I'll come back on the sides. And what I do is I just embellish with these little mirror strips, and I just glue them right on the sides, and that way, you know, it doesn't look like a blank side. You could leave them blank. It's completely preference. You could put beads all down the side, whatever you want, you know, just make it yours. Anyways, so I'll wait till this is cured up good and I get it in a finished state, and I'll be back for the close-up. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. This is so much fun. You gotta try it. Okay, let's do a real quick close-up because this video is way too long. These little guys, they all glow in the dark, and this is all done with neon, so they glow too under the UV light. But this little sparkly guy, I need to clean him off a little better, but that stuff will come right off of there. Yep, anyways, super easy peasy. Hugs, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.